When we are faced with serious problems, especially health issues, the mind may go into negative proliferation. Later, the negative thoughts may manifest as real physical symptoms. For example, a cardio patient may experience chest pain and numbness at the left arm. A gastro patient may experience gastritis, flatulence, stomach upsets. Then the patient will suffer even more and go into hypochondria. Many doctors and medication may not help until the doctors and psychiatrists can diagnose the real mental problem. Okay, there are three questions here. Please explain how the negative mind can create imagined symptoms and become so real. Okay, so here we are faced with serious health issue. The mind may goes into negative proliferations. Okay, later the negative proliferations may become physical symptoms. The patient will suffer more and then it will go into hypochondria. Many doctors and medication may not help until the doctors or psychiatrists can diagnose the real mental problem. Please explain how the negative mind can create imagined symptoms and become real. First of all, this is not really my area. This belongs to the doctors and all that thing. But what we can do as a Buddhist, is to take care of this mind. That is to take care of this mind. Negative proliferations. Now, a lot of us sometimes that sometimes you see on your own family members or friends and so on, when they go into health problem, the whole mind goes down with it. The whole mind goes into a lot of anxiety or a lot of fear. Sometimes the fear of death, sometimes fear of lost the loved ones, and so on. A lot of negative mind that arises during this time. So we understand that the Buddha says that let the body be sick, let not the mind be sick. Yeah. So this is one thing. But how? But how are we going to do that? Yeah. Now, you see, the moment that we have these negative thoughts that arises concerning the health problem, this is what I know. It may not be correct, it may not be scientific at all, But why I feel the moment you have all these negative thoughts and these negative thoughts proliferations, because it's proliferate, because it repeats again and again and again and again and again. And the more that you repeat them, you're going to affect the body. And how does it affect the body? Perhaps that is going to upset or elevate or decrease certain bodily hormones or certain organic chemicals in the body. When it stays in the body or when it increase or decrease, it's going to be there for quite some time. Although later part, your negative proliferation has stopped, but your body is being affected by it already. That means there are certain problems is caused by this thing on the body, or all this problem due to elevation, due to decrease of certain hormones and so on. It's already give rise to the body. And with that, these things is going to go on. Although you don't have your negative proliferations, but because it stays in the body. And because of that, it's going to feed back on the mind again. So it's going to feed back on the mind, all the negative thoughts. It's going to proliferate now, not because you want to have negative, but now it's because the body unpleasant, bosong and all that, then it's begin to give rise to all the negative proliferation. Then the cycle will go on from negative, and then it will affect the body going to affect the mind, then it goes cycle. That's why people, very hard for them to come out from this quagmire, from this cycle. So they keep on going deeper and deeper for some people. So that is difficult to overcome, and then all the problems become very real. Because this is what I think lah. It may not be this one. So other words, the negative thoughts, you got to be very careful. Yeah, it's just like, as I said, those things can become habit. Once it becomes habit, You keep on repeating again and again. B, how to aware and prevent the mind from going into continuous negative proliferations before things become bad. Right. So how are we going to prevent all these type of things? Then again here, not just only meditation, but when we're talking about this type of things, how the mind not go into proliferation, we are talking about overall of your lifestyle, your thinking, people will mix with. And this is going to affect your psyche or how you look at things. If you mix with the wrong people, every day getting angry, or people, uh, love to steal, love to kill, you're going to follow them. Then if they're going to drink, you follow them. Sooner or later, you're going to take up the glass. Sooner or later, you're going to you follow the type of people, whoever, if negative in the thoughts on sometimes, like for example, maybe if in the office culture has a lot of all these negative thoughts and strong deep politics, office politics and all that, then over the years, inside there, you become part of it. It's not so easy for you to pull out. Sometimes you don't realize that we are part of it also. It can be very negative, can be very unpleasant. So our mind is affected because you are there for 8-9 hours per day, 5 days a week, times by 30 years or 40 years. And that's a lot. The people affect you. So the people that you mix with is going to affect your negative thinking. But if you mix with the right people, let's say people who have virtue, with generosity, with kindness or compassion, you mix with them, then your thinking will also be like that. There will be more better positive thoughts. So if you follow them in this way, then the negative thoughts will be less. So begin with people that you mix with. That's why the Buddha says the whole development of our spirituality is all depends on kalyana mitta, right people, right friends. So if you mix with these type of friends, then all the thoughts are beginning more and more. But the problem is that a lot of us, we don't see these things as important. We don't see this as important. We just, everybody is okay one, never mind one, and then mix with them. And then you mix with them, you roll into the this one. Now here, I'm not trying to be like discriminate who they are, or whether by race or by this one, whether they are Buddhist or not. I'm not discriminate in that sense. Don't put. I'm not in that way of looking and thinking, but I'm looking at people who looking at from the angle of virtue, angle of generosity, wholesomeness, and the act of unwholesomeness, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and so on. I'm looking into that. I'm not trying to discriminate people based on their color or based on their male or female, not in that, but based on their this one. So this is where we draw the line of being pride and which one is wisdom. Okay, so the wisdom here, we begin to look into different. So therefore, you must learn to mix with the right people. So you mix with the right people, then the thinking become better. If you don't mix with the right people, they will keep on feeding, or their actions or their speech will keep on feeding to you again and again. So again, like your the way that you mix with people, or maybe your lifestyle also. Your lifestyle also, that perhaps you have to reduce certain things that you love. Sometimes, for example, you love to eat something. Penang also you can drive. From here, drive all the way to Penang. But meditate only, Penang too far lah. you know that No, and so also sometimes certain people's lifestyle, and then they nowadays they just sit on the computer, play with the computer, looking at internet and all that thing, and especially nowadays young people, everything TikTok lah, dance a little bit here and there, post it up, and then everything like that also good. Yeah. But for you all, maybe like what? Korean drama. Or whatever y'all get attached to. Then sometimes this type of lifestyle may not be so good. It would be good that sometimes we do something more better. Maybe exercise a little bit more, because if you exercise a little more, if a better health, then you can come for meditate. I mean, you can still able to come to meditate. Sometimes we meet with yogis, the body is a bit sickly. When you come to meditate, sick liao. Meditate halfway, sick liao. Then how are you going to be able to develop the mind? And all again here because of their lifestyle, maybe a bit too sedentary, to all these type of things. So you make sure that you're healthy, you eat right, or you stay or a better area, better situation, things like that. So these are the things that it helps our to prevent all these negative proliferations. This is how I look at it. It's not just only during the meditation. During the meditation, we talk of mental agitation. That is proliferation. We try to stop the proliferation of the mind. We try to cut it off. But here we are looking at more of our lifestyle and so on, and our people that we connected to and so on. So do more good when you're out there. Do a lot of good deeds, service, help others, and so on. Then all this generate a lot of good thoughts and so on. But nevertheless, when you mix with people, there's always friction around it. One way or another, there's always friction. But when we look at it overall bigger, then it actually is much more mentally healthier than we just mix with the wrong people. Anyway, let's see. And how to get out of such negative thoughts once we are aware that the mind create all this vicious mess. Now, you want to get out of these negative thoughts since we are there sometimes. Here again is where your mindfulness, even in your everyday life out there. For you, you see here, while you are here, trying to pay attention to all the agitation of the mind, you begin to experience all its characteristics here and there. Sometimes it's cunningness, its way of coming in, and so on. You begin to aware of those things. Because if you're aware of those things, you're aware of its signs, they call it. When you go out there, when this type of thoughts coming in, you kind of like, hey, it's exactly what I saw in meditation. This negative or this is proliferation of the mind is coming in. That means the mindfulness is there already checking on it already. That means there's awareness of it. That means there's also going to be the mind is know how to slowly begin to stop it already. But it begins with able to detect it, able to be aware of it, able to become sensitive of it. That's why the moment that you're aware of it, usually it will start to fade off, starts to become less. But if you do not know how to stop them, you do not know how to see them, they will just keep going and going and going. From there, when there's a mindfulness there, then after that, you want to add in metta, you want to add in compassion, you want to add in other wholesome mental states, then fine. But all starts with take note of it first. All right? Then we begin to loosen and to reduce all this negative proliferation, negative thoughts, even when we are out there. Okay? So all these small things are that we do, and it's very helpful even when you're out there, not just only during in the meditation. All right, I think that's it for tonight. That's all the questions. Okay. Idang may bawa ng nibbana sa pachayo Hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of Nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.